Thanks for joining us on Plus TV Africa. I'm Benga Aborowa. This morning, a diesel tanker exploded around the EcoBank head office in Victoria Island, Lagos, causing a fire outbreak. According to eyewitnesses, the incident occurred at about 8:40 a.m. when the diesel tanker was discharging diesel close to a generator that was turned on. This resulted in an explosion and subsequently in a fire outbreak. Plus TV correspondent Susan Jasper was on the scene and files in this report.
So I'm here at the Abedi Way in Victoria Island, Lagos. There's a huge crowd here. Lots of people gathered at the EcoBank here along this lane. The reason for this crowd is there's a fire outbreak here. As we can see, there are fire trucks here on ground to ensure that this fire doesn't spread. This fire has been set up and caused by a diesel tanker conveying diesel to this company, and it exploded. For now, there have been about 2 or 3 trucks coming in and out trying to put out the fire. According to reports from eyewitness, it has been on for over an hour now. If you look right behind me, the flames have been put out. Thankfully, men of the fire service were able to arrest the situation and combat the fire successfully. Susan Jasper, Plus TV Africa.
The Deputy Senate President, Maduro, has reportedly been held by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission since 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning. It was reportedly called in for questioning, but further information have not been made available as at press time. More details to come. Former Governor of Abia State, Dr. Orji Uzor-Kalu, has lost a bid to stop his trial over an alleged 3.2 billion naira fraud. Justice Mohammed Idris of the Federal High Court sitting in Ikoyi, Lagos, in a ruling today dismissed a no-case submission filed by his lawyers. Justice Idris held that the prosecution had established a prima facie case against the defendants based on the evidence against the defendants. Kalu, his former Commissioner for Finance and Account, Jones Udiegu, at a company, Slock Nigeria Limited, are being persecuted by the EFCC on an amended 39-count charge bordering on money laundering. The case has been adjourned to September 10, 2018. A former governor of Sokoto State, Atahiru Bafarawa, has been discharged and acquitted on a 144-count charge leveled against him by the Economics and Financial Crimes Commission. Justice Bello Abbas, the presiding judge, on Tuesday ruled that the EFCC failed to prove that a prima facie has been established. Abbas said the evidence presented before the court were not enough to convict the accused and that the prosecuting counsel failed to prove the case beyond reasonable doubt. He maintained that the evidence given by the 3 prosecuting officers were contradictory and lacked merit. Bafarawa has described the verdict as an act of God, saying justice has been served. A high court in Owerri, the Imo State capital, has stopped the swearing-in ceremony of Mr. Callistus Ekenze as the new deputy governor of the state. The court ruling came in on Tuesday morning just as Mr. Ekenze was about to be sworn in. Imo State Attorney General Miletus Nladim informed those gathered for the swearing-in ceremony about the court ruling. Top government officials had started gathering at the exco chambers of the government house in Owerri, where the swearing-in was supposed to take place as early as 10 a.m., but just before 12 p.m., news of the court order meant the inauguration could not continue. Imo State Governor Rocha Sokorocha had nominated Mr. Ekenze as deputy governor after the impeachment of Mr. Eze Madumere. The Imo State House of Assembly impeached Madumere on Monday when 19 out of 27 members backed his removal. Mixed reactions have trailed the impeachment of the Deputy Governor of Imo State, the Speaker of the Benue and Kano State House of Assembly, and our correspondent Lakpe Banjo spoke with legal practitioner Tosin Adisa on the legal process of impeachment.
Looking at it from the purview of constitutional provisions and law generally, the framework for impeachment has been clearly spelled out in our constitution. Section 188 of the Nigerian Constitution provides the legal procedure for impeachment of a governor and a deputy governor. And there is no ambiguity about the steps to be taken in respect of impeaching a governor or a deputy governor. What is always in question, because in law facts are secret things, what is always in question is whether or not the peculiar facts of these states fits into the provisions of the Constitution. Otherwise, impeachment is illegal.
In the case of the Benue State, where the House is currently trying to impeach the governor, Salman, Barrister Adisa shed light on the possibility of this happening.
To set the ball rolling by issuing notice to the alleged office holder who has been accused of misconduct. The office holder has to respond he must be given that right of fair hearing. After all of this has been done, the stage is set. Now, at some point, the speaker also, the House as it were, must vote to determine whether or not that allegation of misconduct is worthy of investigation. If there is a vote in favor of investigation, at that point, the Chief Justice of that state must set up a panel of persons, eminent and credible persons, to investigate the allegation of misconduct. It is where there is a report by the panel which has been set up to investigate the allegation that finds the office holder guilty of those allegations. Then it is open to the House to adopt the findings of the panel. Once that is done and adopted by a resolution of not less than 2/3 majority. Now that is where there must be care. Not less than 2/3 majority of that House, certainly an impeachment can be carried out.
Nigeria's agency responsible for curbing human trafficking says it's adopting technology to combat human trafficking, addressing pressmen in Abuja. The agency says it's working with its foreign counterparts to place restrictions on prostitution. Plus TV Africa's correspondent Abedi files this report.
Available estimates indicate that about 12 million persons live in slavery worldwide. Another 700,000 are trafficked across international borders. This is made possible because human trafficking has been ranked by the United Nations as the third most lucrative illegal trade in the world. While there are global efforts aimed at stemming this trade, much emphasis has been placed on Nigeria in recent times. This is because Nigeria is a well-known source, transit, and destination country with many young Nigerians trafficked into Europe and Asia to work as prostitutes in brothels and other places. However, with much effort on ground, Nigeria's agency responsible for curbing human trafficking thinks there is a need for partner nations to enact laws banning prostitution.
If prostitution is legal, it becomes very difficult for you to reduce trafficking because people will tell you, well, I thought I picked up the prostitute, I paid for her services. I did not know I was with a trafficked victim, so it becomes a problem.
NAPTIP, known as the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, says much has been done by government to increase public awareness about the use of prostitution. NAPTIP says it has gone further to embrace technology to curb human trafficking by launching an app to boost this war.
The development of the platform was informed by the dire need to scale up the visibility of the agency, enhance seamless and prompt reportage of issues relating to human trafficking, as well as increased mutual participation and interaction of the general public in human trafficking matters.
While human trafficking and prostitution continues to be a menace, NAPTIP wants Nigerians to join into the fight against this vice. Abedi, Plus TV Africa.
A senior official from the opposition MDC party, Tendai Biti, on Tuesday said Zimbabwean civil society groups are working on a court application to force the Electoral Commission to get all polling stations to publish results. The Zimbabwean Electoral Commission released results for the 7 parliamentary seats out of a total of 210 and urged Zimbabweans to be patient while it did its job. The election, the first since the removal of Robert Mugabe last November, is a 2-horse race between MDC leader Nelson Chamisa and President Emerson Mwangwangwa.
We are, however, seriously concerned about evidence of interference with the people's will that is being displayed by the authorities. So, for instance, as I'm talking to you right now, there is a deliberate delay in formally announcing results. So we have written to the Zimbabwe Election Commission asking them to produce these V11 forms. We are also aware that other citizens, in particular ZESNI, the Zimbabwe Election Support Network, and other private citizens are in the process of trying to launch court applications to assert the right to the full production of the V11 forms.
An Egyptian court on Tuesday sentenced 4 members of the outlawed Muslim Brotherhood to life in prison over accusations of burning a church in southwest Cairo. Official news agency MENA has reported. Life sentence in Egypt is 25 years in jail. The case dates back to August 2013 when the defendants set a church in Kardasa area, which is largely inhabited by Islamists ablaze. The convicted were also fined 20,000 Egyptian pounds, equivalent to $1,119 each. The party of Malian presidential candidate Soumaïla Cissé said on Monday that the poll will go to a runoff between Cissé and President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta, a day after a vote that was heavily disrupted by suspected Islamist gunmen. Cissé's campaign manager, Tiebele Dramé, made the announcement at the party's headquarters in Bamako, the capital. Keïta's spokesman said the president was substantially in the lead according to the provisional vote count, although he accepted that a runoff was possible. Spiraling jihadist violence has become a key issue in the campaign as attacks multiply and the death toll mounts across north and central Mali. When we return, we'll bring you the latest updates and events around the world. Do stay with us. And on the foreign scene, a British man who killed 22 people in a suicide attack in Manchester at the end of a show by US singer Ariana Grande was rescued from the civil war in Libya 3 years before by the British Navy, the Daily Mail has reported. Salman Abedi, born to Libyan parents, was thought to have been on holiday in Libya in August 2014 when fighting broke out and British officials offered to evacuate UK citizens, the Mail said. Abedi and his younger brother Hashim were amongst 100 British citizens plucked from the coast of Libya and taken on Her Majesty's ship Enterprise to Malta for a flight home to Britain in August 2014. Security sources quoted by the Mail said that Abedi was not believed to have been radicalized at the time of his rescue. The Manchester bombing on May 22, 2017 was the deadliest of 5 militant attacks in Britain last year. Gunmen stormed the government building in Afghanistan's eastern city of Jalalabad on Tuesday, taking dozens of hostages after a suicide bomber blew himself up at the entrance gate. Officials and witnesses said there was no immediate claim of responsibility, although the Taliban issued a statement denying involvement, and a spate of deadly attacks on the city in recent weeks have been seen as a show of force by the Islamic State militant group. North and South Korea discussed reducing tension but didn't announce any detailed agreement after military talks on Tuesday, while the United States detected renewed activity at a North Korean missile factory, casting more suspicion over North Korea's intentions. The meeting, the second since June, held in the border village of Panmunjom, was designed to follow on from an inter-Korean summit in April, which leaders of the two Koreas agreed to diffuse tension and halt all hostile acts. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un also vowed during a separate summit with US President Donald Trump in Singapore in June to work towards denuclearization, but there's been no concrete agreement to accomplish that goal. The North had pursued its nuclear missile programs in defiance of the UN Security Council resolutions and increasingly severe sanctions. We'll bring you business news after this break. Do stay with us. The Nigerian Communications Commission today said that the active mobile lines in the country increased month-on-month. In June, it increased to 162.30 million in June as against the 162.7 million recorded in May. The Code Division Multiple Access for active mobile lines had 217,566 user. According to the NCC, the number of voice over Internet protocol was 97,941 in June compared to the 93,080 recorded in May. International oil company Shell, alongside its partners, will next year decide if it will continue with the development of Nigeria's Bonga Southwest offshore oil field. A senior official of the company said on Tuesday. The project is expected to produce 180,000 barrels per day of crude. It is also expected to generate profit of less than $50 per barrel, as said by the managing director of Shell Nigeria Exploration and Production Company, Bayo Ojulari. The viability of the project is dependent on the company's current negotiations on production sharing with the Nigerian government. On the activities of the Nigerian Stock Exchange from today, our business correspondent Irene Ubani brings us up to date on all the trades and deals that took place.
The Nigerian stock markets closed on an upward trend as the all-share index rose by 0.19% to close at 37,017.78. On the list of top gainers were Nestle, which rose by 6.52%, gaining 98 naira, while Seplat had a 2.40%, gaining 16 naira 50 kobo. Top decliners were Okomo Oil, which had a 10% decline, and Bitter Glass, which also had a 1.35% decline. Leading the top trades with a 39,647,053 share volume, valued at 1,610,124,069 naira 75 kobo, was guaranteed. On sectorial indices, NSE 30, NSE Insurance, and NSE Oil and Gas rose, while NSE Banking dropped. Equity capitalization was 13.409 trillion naira, and total deals was 5,943. Irene Ubani, reporting for Plus TV Africa.
Still ahead on Plus TV News is our roundup on entertainment and sports news. We'll be back in a moment.
And in entertainment, Nigerian rapper Il Bliss Goretti, popularly known as Oga Boss, explained the experience he and his associates had with the men of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. On Monday night, the rapper said a gun was put to his head and was searched to see if they had the banned drug on them, Tramadol. The record label executive actually took this Twitter account to tweet the incident. Last night, SARS had guns to my head, lying on the car next to my manager. What is going on? Searching us for Tramadol. British grime rapper of Nigerian parentage is about to be a father. He made this revelation via Instagram, where he shared a picture of a 3D ultrasound with a vivid image of the child's face on his Instagram page. Although Skepta has been congratulated endlessly on social media, the mother of the child is yet to be confirmed. Skepta and Naomi Campbell were both on the cover of GQ magazine earlier on in the month of March. Popular TV character Jack Bauer might be coming back as there is talk of a prequel at Fox. It will be the third time at reviving the 24 franchise. If successful, the TV series will focus on a younger Jack Bauer. A Fox executive by the name of David Madden has said that the next version of 24 will probably not be CTU, the American intelligence agency. It will be some other venue using that same style but exploring it through a different mode. Casting has not yet begun and a date has not been set for when it will air. And that's it on entertainment, the very best in sports, right after this.
Hello and welcome to Sport Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoko. In Scrabble, the Nigeria Scrabble Federation, the NSF, have announced that plans are underway to hold the first ever blind Scrabble tournament in the world. And Suleiman Gorad, the president of the federation, said that they are working with the National Initiative for the Blind to hold the tournament. And according to him, the NSF is also working with the blind and the hemophilia group in organizing the tournament. He pointed out that getting the right tools, the Braille board and dictionary will be the major challenge. An Italian discus thrower, Daisy Osakwe, has left hospital after she was hit by an egg thrown from a car in an attack she believes was a racially motivated one. And police in Turin have cast doubt on a racist link, but the attack has inflamed a row surrounding populist Interior Minister Matteo Salvini. And Mr. Salvini has rejected claims by political opponents of a racism emergency. He argues that the only emergency he is fighting involves crimes by immigrants. And Ms. Osakwe, whose parents are originally from Nigeria, suffered damage to her cornea in the attack early on Monday in the Moncaliera area of southern Turin. She holds Italy's under 23 discus record and is set to take part in the European Athletics Championships, which gets underway in Berlin on the 7th of August. And in the transfers, of course, Chelsea have offered to double N'Golo Kante's money and make him their highest paid player in a bid to keep him out of the grasp of bidders, Paris Saint-Germain. And the central midfielder's stock has risen since he moved to Stamford Bridge, where he won the EPL title in his first season. He was also an integral part of Didier Deschamps' World Cup winning squad in Russia. And there are claims that he has been rewarded with a new deal worth £15 million a season over 5 years. If Kante puts pen to paper on the contract, he will then go on to become the highest paid player above Eden Hazard. And for Eden Hazard, who is currently Chelsea's highest earner on £220,000 a week, he has been linked with a summer move to Real Madrid. And that's all on Sport Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoko.
And that's our news roundup of events at this hour. For more news updates, please follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And do subscribe to our YouTube page at Plus TV Africa. We'll be back later with more stories making the headlines. Do join us. I'm Benga Aboroa. Have a wonderful day.